There's a chat room?
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
Discord.
Discord.
Oh, okay.
Retweet that from here. Retweet that from here. All right. That's yes. Thank you to remind me to mute my phone. Now
Yes.
I'm gonna go
Beep,
drop
beep,
this
beep.
on-
Mute me. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go drop this in all the Discords. Which one's Discord?
Okay,
This
now
one's
it's live.
Discord.
Wow, it's a slow load today. Normally we'd be on the tower by now.
Right. That one. And is there an Eve Embassy? Yes, there is. Drop it in there. Drop it in here. Drop it in here. Where else are we going? Where's Frog Pants promo hype? There we go.
Put on your pants.
Put on your frog. Put on
I
your
have
pants.
no pants.
Put on your no pants. All right.
I have no pants.
All right.
Gondor has no pants. Gondor needs no
Gondor
pants.
needs no pants.
I have
Nope.
pantaloons.
Where we're going, we don't need pants.
Pantaloons. Or as AKA pumpkin pants.
That's why we video from the torso up.
Yep.
All
Except
right.
most days I'm not.
I see live people. Okay, thank you, Apple.
All right.
All
Tabby,
right.
you see the show notes, right? The updates on that?
Good lord, you can type fast. All right.
Oh, and you, I have a spot where basically you have a bit, then I have a tiny bit, then you have a bit. Because I
Yep,
wanted you
that's
to do ESO, and yeah, it's
That's
it's out of our normal. But I'm like, at this point, that's what we're doing tonight.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, and if you guys put a note on the news, just say that the AIE BlizzCon stuff will be up later on this evening. As you hear now.
Yeah, no, it's
Well-
it's. I've got a whole thing on the BlizzCon ceremony,
Yeah.
so
And we can cut to you real quick on that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that'll be up
All right.
tonight.
Beep, 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 beep. Ready, Chuck? Are we good? Exactly. All right. We are going in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
BlizzCon and assorted meetups are coming.
Get lost in Destiny 2.
Accurate. Help us help you with the great guild events.
Loot and pumpkins and music. Oh my!
And we have Lanktheris and Tabitha here to talk about Eve.
All that and more coming up right now.
I can hear it from your headset.
I have music in my head.
Great. All right, hang on. Let's try this one more time with feeling.
Hold on. Give me
There you go.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Where would we be without technical failures? Welcome to episode 308 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alia Iocta Est gaming community. The Die has been podcast. It really has. We're honest about it. It has been podcast. We've done this before. This is not our first show, even though it looks like it. This is Tetsemi. To my left and upstairs is Makala.
Hey guys, there are caramel apple bars in the guild kitchen.
Not many left. All right. And to my right, virtually right. Yeah. He's east of me. Okay. Is Mew Cow.
Greetings, gamers. Hope everyone's having fun with Halloween stuff.
Yes. This week we are joined by special ganks. Wow. Well, I mean they are used to ganking things. So Lank and Tabitha.
Line. Oh my god.
I was gonna say
I know.
there is no more appropriate term for what we're doing sometimes.
Nope. Ralph,
Thank
not
you very
pour
much. Thank you very much. Oh, hello,
Yep.
children. Thank you very much.
I know.
Do not pour Tetsemi any Apothic Dark before the show.
Apparently not. And they are here to talk to us about AI Eve and Eve in Eve and whatever else Lank can come up with. Welcome, guys. Please talk.
You know, there was a time in our former alliance when the leadership, who loved us, wouldn't refer to us as AIU, but they would refer to us as AIUE or the Valve Corporation because we still
Right.
Valve. You couldn't say anything without us. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. But there you go. So hi everyone.
Hi, Uncle Lank. Oh, wait. No, we're not doing that.
Oh, later. That's later, darling.
That's right.
Come sit on my knee.
Yeah.
I need to file a sexual harassment lawsuit right now. Thanks.
My wife would slap me.
Yes.
Oh my.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
So
and by the
let's.
way- oh, I'm sorry,
What's that? Go ahead.
And
No,
hey,
go.
Hi, Tabby.
I know. That's why I was going to go.
Oh. Yeah, I should mind my
So-
own business.
Nope, there's Tabby. So Tabby's joining us for the first time. So as a newcomer, so we're going to find out what we've been doing in and out of game before we cover the news. Tabby, what have you been up to?
Well, I just joined Eve about 6 months ago, and I started with Brave. That was a big mistake.
Not to take a
Got
swag
better.
at our former alliance, but it's
Well, I left them. I really left them when I discovered that AIE had an in-game presence in Eve. So I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm leaving these guys. And I got to shoot it Brave. So that's great.
yeah. But what have you been up to lately? Like in the last 3-4 weeks?
What have you been doing?
Actually, this past week, I got my first ever solo PvP kill. That was very
Nice.
exciting.
Yeah, we saw that. You know, it's like, you know, were you in the Hoplite or one of the Corp Doctrine
I was in the Doctrine ratting fit.
Uh-huh.
I was just tooling around in Dodixie because I'm actually I admit I still like to do stuff in high sec. Don't hate me.
No, we don't hate you. We
I was
still
doing some of the event stuff, and I was clearing a lot of the event ships, and some dude just comes up and opens up one of my cargo cans and goes yellow, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I thought a minute because every PvP encounter I'd had until that point, it ended miserably for me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take it. So I targeted him and I hit my drones and I ripped him apart. He didn't even do any damage to me.
Very nice.
I totally destroyed him.
So are you saying that you effectively ganked him?
Yes.
I ganked him.
I see a pattern with those
Oh,
guys.
I know. And speaking of ganking, Lank, what have you been up to in or out of game lately?
Oh, so it's been a busy time for me. Not so much in game, unfortunately. I haven't had a chance to really log in as much as I'd like to, but because work has been, I've been dealing with the real life boss of work, and like projects do, and it's like, oh damn, I have to pay for rent and food and stuff. So yeah, I've been super busy there, but I've been kind of doing a lot of back end stuff. Yes, Mr. Timer. I've been kind of scoping at the site for BlizzCon, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more in a little bit. But I say there will be something up pretty soon about that. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Papa Tets. Yes, I clearly see that we're 8 minutes into the show. By saying
We're good. We're good.
Tabby, you have one job. Dude,
I
good
know.
job.
I have a job.
Good job.
So as you see, Tabby, whenever we're on and whenever I'm on, it's always like keep it short because we'll talk.
We call him Uncle Ramble. All right. And speaking of rambling, no, that would be me. Makala, what have you been up to?
I had a gaming group explode that was fun. So right now I'm only in one active pen and paper game.
Oh, so you're coming back to WoW?
I have no idea right now. I have no. I try to figure out if I now want to take like that time that was occupying in my mind and start working on creative projects, or what I'm going to be doing, or I don't know, try to find another game or three because I can never have enough games.
I hear AIU is recruiting.
Dude,
She deals with spreadsheets enough at work, Lank. She doesn't need spreadsheets in her games.
Because I am saying, if there's a game that has no ending on implosion,
and
This is accurate.
and
is imminent.
yeah.
And speaking of embezzlement, I'm actually busy studying for my ACAMS test, which is the basically
Anti-money laundering.
Yeah, basically, or it's a certified anti-money laundering specialist test, which I'm taking next Saturday. And
You should talk to Hoots because he's really bad at that.
Going back to Eve.
okay, here's the thing: I like my job. I like my job a lot, and the fact that actually World of Warcraft was mentioned under virtual currency as a subject to study with the ACAMs cracked me up.
Yeah, it's actually in there. I saw the text, and it does mention a certain individual and World of Warcraft.
No, just mentions virtual currency like World of Warcraft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perhaps is this a guy who was formerly in politics and was
we know
Yeah.
this. Yes.
Yes.
oftentimes referred to as the troll of the internet?
Yes.
So
And that's where we'll leave it.
I have not taken a college course in 20 years plus. I have a notebook this big that I just finished going through, and now the next week is going to be going through flashcards and taking modules and taking practice tests, and so that's what I've been doing.
Well, we're not at work, so you've got plenty of. It won't be too busy and Eve for you.
Right. So what I'm doing is not gaming.
Being
rolling
a
dice.
responsible adult.
No.
Yes.
That's because my gaming group went poo-poo.
Ladies and
There were fireworks and everything. I saw it. It was cool.
Yeah,
It was not pretty.
For Eve, though.
ladies and gentlemen, adulting with Macaw.
I'm sorry.
Adulting with Macaw.
Oh,
Exactly.
I'm as you know what the funny thing is, I'm an adult. I'm a really adult. I can probably pass as not old enough to drink, but I'm an adult and I'm spending a lot of time adulting and I don't like it.
Accurate. She will go out with our daughter and friends, and she's the one that gets carded every time. Every time. I'm not kidding.
Does your daughter, whenever the guy comes up and asks for your ID, goes, "I'm ashamed of you"?
Do not. Okay.
Don't give her ideas.
Next time, do not give her ideas.
Yeah. But McCullough, I think you're also doing another podcast as well, aren't you?
Well, Mothers of Geeks we're still doing. So
Cool.
we're trying to get into a regular schedule for that because life got in the way. That part did not blow up, thankfully. And fellow Gildy Rabbit and I are actually throwing around some ideas of a D&D podcast.
Ooh.
Very nice. So if you're interested, get a hold of Arabetta, get a hold of McCullough.
Yep. So we have some really fun ideas. I think we're going to call it Nice and Dice. And we had a meeting a week ago to discuss some of our fun ideas that we're going to do with it.
Not to throw gas on this fire because my 10-year-old nephew has gotten into D&D, and he asked, "Hey, Uncle Moy, you've played D&D? Can you show me the ropes?" "Oh, absolutely, my dear boy." So first thing, do you have your D&D player book? "Well, yes, I do." "Okay, I want you to do this. Take it to the garage, grab a gallon of gasoline."
No, you need that somewhat, dude.
Pour it on the book, light it on fire, go to your local gaming store and pick up a book on Pathfinder.
No.
Don't make me kick your butt.
Oh, steps!
Don't make me kick your butt. That'd be 4.5, okay? And 5 is much better.
I'm just saying, you know.
Nope. Until you pick up 5.0, don't be talking to me about any Pathfinder because I'm tired of people who like all these really, really weird little rules that let you min-max and min-max and min-max. No.
Speaking of which, can we bring back 4.0 so I can have my healer actually do something, please?
No, because 4.0 was video game on paper.
Right, and my cleric could actually do something.
I know, darling.
All right. Well, before we completely go off the rails more so than we normally have, how's unpacking going?
Oh, it's still going. I still haven't found my good camera. It's in here somewhere. So I have on the other screen, you can see the little me in the corner. I have my MacBook showing that, but that's not my main computer with all my good equipment on it. So instead, you get to stare at me in Destiny 2, which has started their Halloween event. So I figured, why not show it off and show this lovely mask I got? I'm sure everyone will.
Which base is that at?
This is the tower. This is the new tower.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and I actually have a mask of the dude over there, which was kind of funny.
Kind of creepy.
So yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about, but he didn't say a word when I talked to him, so maybe he was creeped out too. But,
awesome.
But yeah, we'll talk more about the Destiny 2 later on. But so spending a lot of my time, oddly enough, there's a game called Maple Story 2 that I've been poking at a little bit.
I've heard of that. I had played a little bit of Maple Story 1, but I don't know how different 2 is versus 1.
I didn't play Maple Story 1, but everyone keeps saying, oh, Maple Story 2 is 3D. So apparently 1 was not?
Oh, no, it was all like flat 2D kind of like, it was more of a platform. It was more like a platformer, kawaii platformer MMO. The fact that they went 3D, it's like, oh, wow, hello, 2003 called.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of that weird. It's like a forced quarter perspective. Like
isometric and like looking down, and it's like, wow, that was great in like, I don't know, StarCraft. Oops, sorry, say that a lot again.
But yeah, it's kind of like it's definitely a casual MMO. Like you don't have to worry about anything in that game, and it's completely free if anyone's looking for free MMOs. But it is a little cutesy at times. You can make your character in any kind of vein you can think of, very very customizable. They do have end game content, which is kind of interesting. They have dungeons. They have lots of little social things to do. They have housing. Hello, wow, wake up.
Right.
Real simple stuff, and the actually having your house show up in the world is optional. You actually pay to rent a space, but just having the space is free. So something to look into. And then lots of WoW. What was that?
Pay to rent space? That sounds like Eve.
I know, right?
Yeah, but you don't pay in blood. That's the big difference.
Hey, we pay in Plex or rubles.
Right.
That sounds like collusion.
And soon to be, the Chinese currency, right? Anyway,
the yuan.
The yuan, yes.
The yuan, yeah.
I was gonna say the yen, but I was like, no, that's the wrong Y. It's yuan.
Yeah, but other than that, just a little bit of progression in heroic WoW rating. Trying to oddly enough, none of my teams has gotten normal Cahoon down. It's like
they just skip. They're like, okay, we're skipping that, going to heroic.
I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it's that hard. At least not in LFR. It doesn't seem like it's that hard of a fight. It seems like Mithrax is hard. And I've gotten Mithrax down on 2 different teams. So it's like,
right.
Why are we not doing Cahoon? So I don't know. I think the gear in heroic is more tempting because it's at 350, 370 gear.
It's also like an 8.5 minute fight that if you screw up, you got to start over. So I think people are like, you know what? We'll go do fights that are shorter that we can actually get gear from.
Yeah.
If one person drops the ball, it's pretty much done.
Literally, if you drop the ball, you're game over.
Yeah.
So here's where I go like old school Lank from WoW, 8-minute raid, 8 minutes. It's like 8-minute raid. I'm sorry, in my day,
I know.
Back in my day,
when we used to go ahead and raid like old school, like WoW raids, it was 35 minutes to 45 minutes on each fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 2 days.
Another 35 minutes to get through the trash to get to the fight.
When we got to the whole little castle with the old dead goo guy with the vulture thing, and you go there for 2 days.
And we liked it.
30-minute
He's
run
been
back.
outside all day, and he liked it.
And you had to
That's
attune to
right.
it anyways.
Oh.
Exactly. 6 months later, you can finally get in the raid. Yes.
Yep.
Very cool.
And guess what? Next raid comes out.
Yeah.
How things have changed and how things are coming back around. But
Yeah.
that we'll discuss in the news. So.
But that's probably enough for me. I mean, just gaming, unpacking, and wrestling with toddlers. Just the one.
Very cool.
Just like several.
Very cool. All right. Well, and for me, I have been doing some rating. We finally are 5 of 8 and on normal because we've just been kind of poking at it as attendance happens. We found the magic again of raiding with just like a small number of people, because normally we raid with like 15 to 18 people. I think it can get a little chaotic. Yes, Link, I know, 40 people. Anyway, we're not hurting cats. We got back to the like we had 11, 12 people the other night and just started plowing through stuff, and I was like, oh, this is nice. The mechanics actually scale this time and we can actually kill stuff. But yeah, we're 5 of 8. We've got to go work on the trash boss and then the boss itself, because good lord, clearing the trash for Zool takes half the raid, and then you can actually work on Zool for the other half of the raid. Yeah, it's
Longer
they need
hunters. Because I mean,
what's that?
The longer if you have hunters, because those blood pools make
Yes.
go running everywhere and pulling everything. I've actually started switching to marksmen just for that trash, so I don't have to get running around.
No, we pull like the first 4 trash packs up the stairs to the first platform, so that when the hunter pets go running, they only run down to the bottom of the stairs and halfway into the arena, and then stop and come back. So, yeah, no, we've we've had to deal with that. But I have. So Tet is basically he's my rating tune, and he's kind of in maintenance mode with everything. I'm just slowly working on mission table stuff that I haven't done for that achievement. Got all the treasures and all the adventures of and all that. So he's kind of parked in raid mode. Got my druid completely leveled up, and she's now working on getting faction rep up. I've got my Lions tune up, got through all that story. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what they're going to announce at BlizzCon and waiting for the patch to drop after BlizzCon to advance the story, because that's what I'm looking for. I have been playing a little bit in Star Wars on and off. Did Conquest the other week and got through that, but I've got to get back to, I've got 2 characters left that I need to get to the 300 Conquest cap, because I'm suspecting that they're going to raise that in 6.0, although Max and Seema don't think so. We'll have to see what happens, but I want to get them up so that I have one of each major class at the 300 Conquest cap, so that the rest can get the benefit from the buff. But other than that, real life has kept us very busy, so with work and stuff. But with that, I think we will be digging into Eve shortly. But first, let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
All right, in community news, join the AIE community both virtually and in real life as we celebrate BlizzCon this upcoming weekend. Please look for the BlizzCon section of AIE Discord and watch the at Meetups channel for folks getting together at BlizzCon and online to watch via the virtual ticket. Use the at Live voice channel to hang out to discuss BlizzCons and all the announcements. And hey, Link, I understand that pretty soon we should have some news about some of those meetups. What's going on there?
Absolutely. Actually, I was in Orange County earlier today, finalizing selections for an actual couple of meetups at the actual BlizzCon. So as of right now, it looks like we're going to have a near lunch, a little after lunch meetup on Saturday.
Cool.
The afternoon. And it'll be in a generalized area, because one of the great things about BlizzCon is that you see Blizzard in their grand wisdom, bless them for this, they rented up the entire concourse that leads up to the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 30 food trucks.
Oh, wow.
Choose. And and if you know anything about LA culture, food trucks here
are good.
Are really
yes,
real good eating.
Yes,
30 food trucks. That's like Austin, Texas, every Friday night.
I know, right? So it's great. But yeah, it's so instead of saying, "Hey, let's just go to this restaurant," oh, I don't like it because I don't like the soup, or let's go to this place. No, I'm a vegan. I can't have any meat. It's like bring your own food. It's great. Yep. Just bring your food. Show up at 1:00. Get together. Tell stories, eat food, make fun of people, and look at all the folks in cosplay. It'll be great. And for Sunday morning, we're going to be meeting up at. It's now actually a guild tradition. We're going to meet up at Tiffy's, which is a small family restaurant. See.
The year that we went, we did the Tiffy's meetup.
So we're going to be showing up at Tiffy's and having breakfast there. Because there's a long tradition of a lot of guild folks, like the day after the convention on Sunday, going to Disneyland.
BlizzCon, yeah.
Well,
it's Dapper Day too.
So we'll be there, ordering waffles and French toast and other breakfast foods, and and saying au revoir to our friends, and others say au revoir to their money, as after like unloading their cash at BlizzCon, we'll now go to Disneyland and spend $30 on a hamburger.
Yep.
Yeah, you can eat exactly if you're smart. I actually suggest if you are going to BlizzCon, find Mew because Disneyland, find Mew because he is the best food guide I've ever had at Disney. He showed us all the really great little trips and places that you don't find anywhere else.
Yeah, all the hidden little shacks that they don't really have listed anywhere,
Yep.
Fun things like lobster rolls and
oh yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you can have like a whole foodie. You can have a whole foodie podcast just on the ins and outs of Disneyland and what's around Disneyland.
Oh, I'm all for that.
It's a friend of mine's son recently got a job as a prep chef at Disney, and has actually moved up, and now he's like on the line. So he gives us all like, oh, you totally want to go to this place because they've got this great deal, and they've got like swordfish, or this place has got like filet mignon, or you want to go here. Oh, definitely don't want to go to that place because that place is so now I have my food inside guy, and I'm like, this will be fun.
Awesome. And by the way, we're gonna mute you for a second, Link. Also, we have some AIE Discord news on the AIE-guild.org. Like we said, there's temporary BlizzCon section for real life and virtual. Nomad channel. Go ahead and check that out for new and emerging games. We have our raid team news and raid team recruitment channels. Basically, if you're looking for a team, basically it's a Discord LFR or LFRG, I guess. We have regular game text and voice channels that we're using. And even cooler, because I buried the lead on this one, on Discord, we have our first set of AIE emojis. And of course, our lead design, Xanar, took care of this for us, and she is amazing. So take a look at those. They're pretty cool. Look, you can see them actually on the AIE-guild.org. Look for the AIE Discord updates and emojis.
Alrighty. Then, in streaming and guild podcasting news, we have SWTOR Escape Podcast 263, Osis Susurus. Probably said that wrong. We had AIE SEMA and Max and Astromech EPC 263 continuing to talk about the VX and get back to the Jedi class story on Tython. Sounds cool. And then this week, we have SWTOR Podcast 264. The force is strong with this one. SEMA, Max, and EPC 264 wrap up the story. Character and companion preview talk on update 5.10, while continuing the Jedi class story on Tython.
And just a reminder, we do have many, many mandatory fun nights where the fun is mandatory, but the attendance is not. On Monday, we have Guild Wars 2 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Tuesdays are SWTOR, speaking of SWTOR, at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, Max, fine. 8 p.m. Central. On Friday, ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern, along with Final Fantasy XIV. And on Saturdays, we have Star Trek Online at 10 p.m. Eastern, followed by New Braid at 11 p.m. Eastern. And a reminder for New Braid, you just have to be item level 320 and level 120 to get into the braid.
Oh my god, this is so not fair. My wife just got the Horseman mount.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
I've been farming it for 10 years. We've both been farming it for 10 years.
Congratulations to your wife. That's awesome. Condolences to you. Actually, it's kind of amazed you're not screaming right now. I know.
I'm screaming inside. The same part of me is dying.
Yep. It's as undead as that. Anyways, and in No Man's news, Destiny 2 Festivals of Lost Souls is underway. Enjoy Destiny's take on the season by donning masks and going on a bit of a spooky hunt with Amanda Holliday leading the way as you explore the haunted forest. The tower is decorated in honor of those that have been lost, and the Eververse loot season has been flavored to match. The clan is currently at level 3 at our current efforts and has a few levels away if we want to get to the maxed out level 6 by the time this ends. Hawthorne is who you want to talk to if you wish to contribute to the clan leveling. And definitely if you are planning on running content with fellow gang members. Clan members. Wow, gang members. Woo!
We were all just about ganking today.
Ganking. And you might find Mew in that game because he's been pretty active, as we discussed previously.
Not as active as I always like to be, but yeah, I'm certainly in there now.
Well, sleep has to happen occasionally, so.
Yes, it does occasionally.
Sleep is for mortals.
It is.
Sleep is for the weekend.
Or the week.
All right, and in WoW news, the new Raid Bank pilot program has begun. You can see that on the AIE Guild blog. It's definitely interesting stuff you want to get into if you're into raiding. It's probably something we've needed for a while to help support our raiders a little bit. We're not a raiding guild, but we want to make sure that they still feel like they're welcome here too. Unrelated to that, we have Running of the Beef was a success. So you can go to, we have a link in the show notes for the Twitch video. But it was the usual gang of, well, not beef this time. I think it was trolls, I believe. Everyone at level 10 and above, running muck.
Yep.
So that was fun. And then the events committee is looking for ideas for a guild event in January. It can be a new event. It can be an old event. Something based on the Blizzard WoW calendar, whatever. Please submit the ideas to Cyrene. There are lots of new raid kills, including a full normal clear for DOA for Libertas Guild Achievement, and a full clear of older LFR for New Raid. Congrats to them. As well as several heroic level boss kills by many other teams.
Yep. And back to SOTOR. The mandatory fun night, the aforementioned mandatory fun night, is on the Imperial side. They're going to do Halloween music in plug.dj, as well as do Karaga's Palace, and probably Scum and Villainy if they have time left. This week, Conquest is Deathmark week, so get out your bounty contracts and go hunting. On Friday, November 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central for Max, Mega is back with Marcus, who's on a baby break. It will be called Seema's Gone to Voss, with details to come. And if you missed last Friday's Mega replay, it's up on the Twitch channel and now published on YouTube as well. And for those that didn't see it, it was costume contest, and they had 3 categories for pop culture, scary, and the other one was, I believe, funny. So,
alrighty. In ESO news, the Witches Festival is still running through November 1st with 100% XP buff and a skull that contains drops of random items, usually, what did they call them? Patterns for gear and some other just random consumables. The guild bank is currently stocked with creepy food and drink offerings to sample to get the achievement for eating one of each spooky themed item. So feel free to help yourself to a snack. In DLC news, the Murkmire DLC and Update 20 launched last week. This is a new zone with quests, delves, and a 4-player arena to undertake. It is free for all ESO Plus members, but can be obtained from the in-game store for crowns or earned through the daily reward log in November. To earn it as a daily reward, log in and claim reward for 24 of the 30 days in November. Essentially, you need to be doing the login check with one character and hit the button. And then if you do that at least 24 times during November, so you got 6 days to not do it, then you'll get the fun stuff at the end. But you'll get all kinds of other stuff like crates, potions, consumables, that sort of thing.
Awesome. All right. And in Guild Wars 2 news, the Mad King Thorn Halloween event continues into the 9th. And a big thanks to Disturbed Angel for running Mandatory Fun Night while Dejora was off on vacation.
And in Final Fantasy XIV news, Goblin is still a preferred server, so the road to 60 buff is still up. It is 3 times XP, all activities, all jobs, and all classes to level 60. 70, however, is the current cap, so you still have to level out the old-fashioned way. If you are a PvPer, the Feast Season 10 will close October 30th, with the results being announced on November 6th. There's a link in the show notes. Do you like loot of the real life?
Yes.
Do you like carving out pumpkins for Halloween season with
I suck at it.
Well, the Final Fantasy XIV wants to see your Final Fantasy XIV styled pumpkins. There's a contest just for you if you do so. It is called the Ogre Pumpkin Carve-Off Contest. Submit your Final Fantasy XIV themed pumpkin for the All Saints Wake event. It is the same time as the in-game Halloween event. It's spooky and fun in the Haunted Mansion. And make sure you jump in on that because there are 2 new pets and some neat house decorating items. And then you'll want to submit your entries for this on the Final Fantasy XIV boards. It's the Square Enix thread, Square Enix Final Fantasy XIV threads to get to that. You, however, must be a resident of the 50 states, DC, Puerto Rico, or Canada minus Quebec, because I don't know what it is with Quebec. They're always not into the whole contest stuff. Something about their laws.
It's mainly because you have to put the French first. It has to be prominent. Blah 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 blah. So there's all rules for doing contests in Quebec.
So it's sad that people just opt out, and we'll just skip them. So it's sad for them.
Exactly.
That's how it is. For those that are music lovers of Final Fantasy XIV, the community has voted, and there's now a top 50 Final Fantasy XIV song list now on a single Blu-ray album. That way you can keep all the songs on there. It is called Final Fantasy XIV The Best. Also includes a couple of chip tunes as well, and in-game orchestration roles to play in your own house or apartment. So that's pretty cool. They usually like to include like some kind of neat little thing in when you buy the albums.
Yep. Very cool. All right. And with that, let's get back to Lank and Tabby and find out what is going on in Eve.
And this is where Tabby gets to find out exactly how hard it is to control Lank. Sorry, buddy.
We're at
double shift this week.
We're at 37 minutes into the hour, so I got plenty of time to blow this stuff up. But besides that, while they were busy telling like official like important
right.
AIE like game stuff, I was busy listening to cats fly through space and meow.
So basically, it's Sunday.
Yes, it's just me. So like I says, hey, I'm Lank.
Hi, Uncle Lank.
Yeah.
So I know Tabby you had mentioned earlier about you've been in the game for 6 months, and I'm going to totally throw you in front of the bus and say, so tell us, what's been your experience so far?
Well, actually, it's been rather fun. I've really just joined Eve for the pretty ships, and because there really isn't a homeworld MMO yet. For those of you who remember that back in the day, but pretty much just joined Eve. I joined Brave. That didn't go well. Joined up with AIE, and then started learning about nullsec and how you have to be super paranoid all the time. I have lost a lot of ships.
Yeah. So which is funny because like I said, you've been introduced to nullsec. You spend most of your time in highsec nowadays, correct?
I've been slowly increasing my time in nullsec, so I don't spend all of it in high sec anymore. And I'm looking at Z Killboard, and I've actually increased my dangerous meter to 17%. I'm only 83% snuggly now.
Oh, only. See, I'm 51 dangerous, 49% snuggly. So you have a 1 and you have a 50% chance of surviving engagements with me unless I shoot you in the face first. So go figure. Which is funny because it's interesting how different players feel the game different. You talk about the paranoia, nullsec. I feel just fine in the area nullsec because it's dangerous, it's fun, it keeps you on your toes. But put me into high sec, man, and I'm a neurotic flake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all those people, all those neutrals, and I can't shoot them. I can't shoot them. I have to go in there and actually go in there. See, people, the game actually has a safety button, a safety, like a gun.
Is it the eject button to get out safely before things go south?
No. It turns off your entire weapons rack, so you can't accidentally or on purpose blow someone up. And
there's a little button above your control thing that if you click it, it gives you green, red, and yellow. And usually it's in green mode. And in green mode, it will not let you attack somebody else. And if it's in yellow, which you have to click on 2 different confirmations to get it to go to yellow, it'll warn you before you shoot somebody.
Are you sure you want to shoot him in the face? Are you really sure?
Wow.
Well, because there's when you're in high sec, which is anything because security is from a 0 to a 1, and then you have null sec, which is lawless space, which is under 0. But from 0.5 to 1 is high sec, and there's a safety mechanism there where if you attack another player, the game will come and kill you.
Interesting.
It won't. The game won't stop you from attacking other people, but if you attack somebody
in high, a shot caller on you and kills you.
Yeah, pretty much.
The game,
Concord comes in and totally wrecks your day.
Yeah, the game is about choices.
Yeah,
choices and cause and effect. You don't have to shoot that guy, but you totally could. But if you do it in front of the mall cops, bad things happen. Mall cops will show up and look at you really mean and take your ship or whatever you're in. Low sec, everyone's a bit more badass. It's like high school. So a bunch of bullies. And null sec, well, hey, those are nice shoes you got there. Those surely will look good on my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's a nice ship you got there. It'd be a shame if
something happened to it.
Yeah, and it's been an interesting time, particularly in the game, because one of the reasons we were here is that since we were here last, so CCP, the gaming company Crowd Control Productions, who creates and kind of develops EVE Online, has been sold.
Really?
And their prior expansion was called Abyss, and I'm like, oh, Abyss, that's an interesting thing, because they introduced this new thing called these abyssal rifts, which it's kind of like an instance kind of engagement where you're fighting this evil NPC group in some ultra pocket dimension. But little did we know that it was also a bit of a kind of like a joke, in that they knew then that Pearl Abyss, Pearl Abyss was about to buy the company. Mm-hmm. So we all did a collective head smack going, oh, okay. And of course, Pearl Abyss is the
online for about 5 minutes, and then I heard that Pearl Abyss is buying Eve, and I'm like, oh no.
Well, yes, we don't know. It's still really early, so whenever there's your gaming company gets bought out, well, there's some changes, so we'll see. But we'll, like I joked around with Hoots the other day, I totally expect to be able to buy cat ears and cattails for my ship soon.
There you go.
Or my avatar. You don't know, because it's Black Desert. So we'll find out how that goes.
It's funny you talk about that as I have the
item.
It's the cat ears on.
Yeah.
Latest event. And I looted it the other day, and I about lost it because it says a package of costume parts, or like a broken package of costume parts. It says like this package contains the irreparable headpiece that could have been cat ears.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny because like on
Oh
my
my.
screen, I actually have the little ghost in Destiny 2 actually has cat ears just taped to his head, and that's how they do their costumes in this game.
But yeah, we'll see. We have our hopes up, but there'll probably be some changes as we cut. But we actually all kind of laughed and going, how long before avatars have ships? Speaking of avatars,
I'm sorry. I'm still focused on Mew's ghost with the taped on cat ears.
Cat ears.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Thing
A
ever.
little bit, but that's your future. That's how they're gonna do the ships. You're gonna see little cat ears just taped to things.
There you go.
oh god. But with that, our Generalissimo Hoots has decided to engage in a foolhardy endeavor. And by foolhardy, I totally endorse it. So he decided,
So foolhardy.
totally foolhardy. And if you're paying attention to Discord, he I kind of mentioned it and kind of posted like what the future will hold. And the future will looks like AIE will actually at one day soon have a Titan. And
Ooh.
I'm like, and the first thing that came out of my mouth is, I can't wait to see that kill mail.
Yeah. Can't wait to see who was driving when that thing blows
Oh,
up.
it's Hoots. He is going to fly
It's gonna
it.
explode back up assembly.
He is just going to fly that piece of corporate infrastructure. Although, technically the other directors could if they wanted to. But yes, we'll be able to bridge people and like show off and like giggle and laugh and point and snicker when it finally dies. So,
Well,
hey,
I don't think it's going to be used for anything. It's going to be like one of those things that you parade out for military parades and then you tuck back away somewhere.
well,
No.
I don't know. No, we have
No.
a strong history of doing dumb stuff with it.
Yeah.
We remember we are
Yeah.
talking about an alliance that we were part of, Blades of
Yeah.
Grass, that lost a week-old Titan because what's the worst thing they could do? What could happen? A multi-thousand-dollar ship in real money getting blown up because I joined a fleet and it's a Chinese
Yeah.
fleet and I don't speak Chinese.
Oh.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
But with that, and just last week, CCP had its big Eve Vegas event, the big fan group meetup in Vegas, and a lot was kind of addressed and talked about. So they talked about a lot of new deployable structures, changed the war deck mechanics, some new ships which are kind of sexy, some additional like modes to the abyssal the abyssal space, which hopefully I'll be able to show in a little bit. But they also mentioned for all you naysayers out there, all you naysayers who say, I don't have time to play Eve. I don't have a machine that can play Eve. You got a smartphone? Eve is coming to your smartphone.
Oh no.
Oh,
No.
Dang.
So you'll be able to play Eve and kiss your battery goodbye. And
That's what usually happens.
freak
Yes.
out and throw your phone at the 80-year-old lady across your commuter train because someone
let's
just
not do
blew up
that.
your ship. It
Because
is a
you're
glorious time to be alive.
fly your Titan up.
My phone battery's already killed by Star Trek timelines. I don't need that.
So just saying, it's like a entry level drug.
So basically, just one hit.
Just one hit, one spliff, and you're
Got it.
like, and next thing you know, you're spending your entire allowance on buying Plex and flying blinged out ships. So hey, and we also saw the resurrection of an old game, now new again. Project Nova was announced, which is also both the online version of EVE Online and Project Nova are in early alpha. So they're bringing back the kind of first-person shooter that you used to be able to play in Dust 514, but this time with a twist in that the fact that instead of fighting on a planet, you're going to be fighting on your ships.
Really?
So you're going to get launched out of your ship and intervene, whatever they call a drop ship, crashes into the hull of the ship, and you then have to go in and take over the other guy's ship and turn off critical systems that will allow you to destroy the evil Sancho Nation. Ooh, scary.
It's vibrating.
Yeah, but the big the thing that had all the Evenerds really kind of just foaming at the mouth is a lot of the new structures that are able to deploy around space. If I do this right, let's see. I got it. Oh, look, I even got it queued up. I'm about to attempt a screen share if my thing doesn't die on me and stupid, because I am stupid. Application window.
Odds on it being ponies.
Oh, it is not ponies. So there we go. And share. And I'm going to make this big for you folks. And
there you go.
I will now shut up and listen to the wonderful and wonderfulness that is the new deployables in Eve.
And silence.
Yep, we can see the video, but no audio.
No audio? Oh, well, I'll go ahead and mention that it's going. So this nice, Icelandic fellow is leaving, and your first thing you think is the Ansiblex junk gate. So for the first time, we'll actually have player-built and operated jump gates in the game, which up to now, lore-wise, prior civilizations have created this and put this for people. Now you'll be able to build it yourself, as well as the Ferrolex Sino beacon. So if you fight a capital ship, you're required to use Sino beacons to jump your ship around. They're now part of like a permanent structure, as well as Sino jammers to keep the bad guys from doing the same thing to you. So, and of course the Abyssal Dead Space co-op, the Abyssal Dead Space had always been a one-player thing. You'll now be able to do it as a group, and of course the sexy new Triglavian ships, because I really want those ships.
That is
so
pretty.
bad.
Wow.
I mean, they're really pretty. And yes, honorable dueling is coming. Honorable, quote unquote, open quote, close quote.
I mean, they're no TIE fighter.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, McCullough, they're no TIE fighter, but you know.
Shut up.
No, but then of course the Crimson Harvest, which is another. The new effects on the Stargates. Look, we're going to have even more badges around starships to show up what you're doing.
We don't need no stinking badges.
You can't see me, but I'm drooling right now.
It's very pretty.
And the thing, of course, is that Eve is a very pretty game.
It is, yeah.
Incredible, pretty game.
That's why I started playing in the first place.
Yes.
With the pretty ships.
And with the mention that Pearl Abyss was gonna take over by the game company, of course, they've talked about how they're going to pour even more money into graphic development and actually space development. We oftentimes talked around that Eve sometimes have a tendency of being like submarines in space.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that might be changing in the near future.
Will I get cat ears for my Vexor? On my ship. I want cat ears on my ship.
Yeah, why not? So that covers kind of like all the Eve the CCP game related stuff. The Corp right now, AIU, is actually doing pretty well, even surprising over the situation that we were formerly in. As you know, last time we were here, we were talking about how we had taken over some space and we're or at least not test. So the political narrative is that a certain former allies of ours, the Alliance XIX, Death, had decided that they were going to live in the space that we were in and attempted to take over said space. But that didn't go really well for them. Mm-hmm. So they picked up a phone, a bat phone even, and they called our former alliance, Test Alliance, to gentrify space.
Oh my.
So the Russians were a pushover. The residents were a pushover. Test thought they were going to come in and take over the space and kick us out in the period of a week.
No, they thought wrong.
Oh, it was beautiful that the fact that Test had to rely on capital ships to try to take over space. Mm-hmm. There's a mechanic where we play basically capture the flag, and we have these things called tossing links. So you put them on your little ship, you take over these flag points, and move on to the other one. They had to put them on capital ships because we were so annoying, kept blowing them up.
Nice. And
at that point, our coalition said, "Hey, let's not commit full capitals because that's going to get stupid expensive. Let's do a rolling slow retreat, kind of like Bonaparte with the Russian Empire.
And we all know
where
how
they
well
had
that
this-
went.
Where they all had the taste of like dust and bitterness in their mouth. It was fantastic,
Nice.
beautiful. And what ended up happening, an accord was reached. A non-invasion pact was called, whereupon our coalition, our alliance, should not take over any space that's held by Test, and vice versa. No shooting each other's structures. We can still shoot each other individually in the face, but there is a moratorium on taking space. And we're like, fine, we will take that because Test is going to leave sooner or later. And guess who's coming back?
Nice.
The Russians are going to get wrecked big time. But no, I don't savor my evilness.
No. You
Plate,
simmer in it.
To see. So yes, so there is where we're at. Some point people are saying, well, right now what are you doing? So we rolled back deeper into Winterco space, and we're on actually kind of like a temporary deployment to kind of keep us busy shooting stuff, because we all love shooting stuff,
Right.
and just biding our time. And that may or may not be the reason why we're building a Titan. Maybe not.
Nice.
When we first started, when we first joined AIEU, we were just a dumb ragtag of like, oh, we're going to conquer the world. And the naive was wonderful.
The naive
Yes.
was strong with that
The
one.
naive was strong with us. But when we were extricating, we were leaving the region that we were in, it's like usually it's this mad scramble of just getting all your ships and leaving. And there we are, we're doing a move op. And I'm like, oh my. Our silly band of like pilots who used to run around in junky thrashers, as we're doing the op, and it's like, who's got what and where, and it's just like, not to show off what I've got, but it's just like, I've got a half dozen capital ships. Booth has got who knows how many. Lara's got oh my god, and it's just like, wow, we got a lot of firepower. Next fight's going to be interesting. Just saying.
Yep.
So if you want to lose your mind and lose a lot of ships, join AIEU, because what can possibly go wrong?
Everything.
Corp implosion imminent.
Every day. Every day.
And see, you're trying to talk me into playing this. I've had too many implosions lately.
It's a lot of fun. Hey, look, we recently had sorry, go ahead.
The joke on that one is when I first started Eve, I got into Brave because there was the corp that people told me to get into, and as soon as I found out that AIE had an Eve corp, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go over there.
We're good people.
And so the people in Brave, because I actually kind of asked them, like, hey, do y'all know anything about the AIE?
Mm-hmm.
What did they say? What did they say?
Well, it's direct. It's where the whole meme for corp implosion imminent came from, because it's like, oh, they're just a bunch of vagrants that squat on whoever couch they can get on, and that corp is imploding. I mean, you don't want to go there. They're imploding.
We've been imploding for like 6 years.
What a bunch of murder hobos.
And I typed when I first joined in AIE, I mentioned, it's like, the guys in the previous corp told me that y'all were imploding, and of course the memes started coming. That's where you've probably seen the meme of the building collapsing. It says join AIEU corp implosion imminent. That's directly where that meme came from.
And let's be honest, Tabby, Brave's still a little butthurt with us because we kind of helped with the coup. So depose their leader, they kind of hold a grudge.
Yeah, they do a little.
I mean,
It's
Eve.
Eve. If you can't handle a coup, then why are you playing the game?
Don't they have like a coup like every 2 weeks?
Pretty much at this point.
They have more coops than we move.
Uh-huh. Oh, I did. I have actually when it was in comms the other day. It goes like, because we were moving, and they're like, "Oh, do we have to worry about you guys, dude? We are AIU. If there's something that we're super competent in,
it's moving. Right.
We can move like champs.
I like to move it.
Yes, exactly.
But look, a minute left. Yay!
Tabby, you did your job well.
We did it, folks. All right. Very cool. So is that I'm not opening the door again, Lank, but is that you're good?
I will now shut up. Before I shut up, I will say if you're interested in joining AIE in space, by all means, seek us out on Discord. I will happily pour honey in your ear.
Yes.
And vinegar in your mouth.
That's pretty accurate.
What you do, dude.
And every dagger is free.
Exactly.
First hit's free. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is our show tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Crazy Uncle Lank and poor Tabby, his newest handler, for joining us. And don't forget, after the show, there may be an AIE podcast stream. We'll have to see if Max is doing anything. In the meantime, McCullough?
All right. If you have questions or comments about the show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at The Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwaif. And Tetsumi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. By the way, just a programming note. We had a meeting before the show, and we will be taking off December. So right now, our last tentative show schedule for 2018 is November 25th, which is a Sunday after Thanksgiving. By the way, you can join us in the chat room and play along with us at our website, which is aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server is bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
And now it's time to play all of the great AIE member segments we received this week, including X Buxley from Buxley and Oakley Dramatic News from Hunts the Wind.
Yay!
All right. And next time, we are looking to have some special guests on to talk about BlizzCon. So until then, AIE, this is Tetsumi.
This is Makala.
This is Mew Cow and the weird little ghost with cat ears.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Yay, we did it.
Woohoo!
All right, so we have 3 show titles so far. Corp Explosion Imminent.
Yep.
Brave doesn't like AIE. And AIU bravely moving forward.
There's also AIU, 2 Men in a Truck of Eve.
That may be the most accurate one so far. Thank you, Seema. Or was that? Oh, that was Cadavery.
Yeah.
I like the 2 men in the truck.
You bravely imploding forward.
Yes.
So make sure that Tet talks to people today at Raid, because we're trying to see, I know you're going to BlizzCon. We're trying to get a few more folks who've been at BlizzCon to kind of give a wrap up and stuff for next week.
It would be a wrap up of what happened at BlizzCon?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sybil!
I didn't do it.
Sybil's dropping the knowledge here.
Sybil! No.
Shut up, McCullough. No TIE fighters. Murder hobos, and the Russians are coming in there easy.
I like the Russian one personally because, I'm in financial crimes.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's just dangerous.
I could take show title 2 and 1 and 3 into murdering Russian space hobo.
Yeah. Oh.
Murdering Russian space hobos.
Hobos.
Oh, my God.
Because they're easy.
They're easy.
Murdering Russian space hobos because they're easy.
Yeah. Although I really do like the 2 men in Truck of Eve because, there's 2 men in a truck in every country or every state and nation. So, yeah.
I like the combination of murdering Russian space hobos because it's easy.
Go for it, dude.
All right. We'll take a combination of those. I will change this. All right. And with that, we'll fix the typo on because. All right. Fixed.
All the wonderful things he does. Space Mall cops don't care. You guys are on fire tonight.
I know. I'm gonna have to include these all at the end of the thing.
Please, by all means.
I'll just have to include these at show titles suggested but not used.
You should totally go on AIE Discord and says one of these could be your potential next name for your next show.
Exactly. So, all right. Thank you guys, chat room. Thank you so much. You keep us entertained as always, and we will talk to you next time.
Definitely, and I do my best.